Robert Moran, host of the Comedy Gold Secrets show on ACMI TV. We explore the big world of comedy, from interviews with professional comics to remote segments shot all over the area. And we'll have tips on how you can get started with your own stand-up comedy career. All that and more on the Comedy Gold Secrets show with Robert Moran on ACMI TV. Yay! And let's welcome to the stage, Jason Fishman.
Thank you, Bob. Keep it going for Bob, everyone. The inaugural show. Very exciting, very exciting. How y'all doing?
Great.
Good? Having a good New Year?
Yes.
Having a good one. I went on a date recently, first date of the year. Her name was Vishali. And I said, that's a beautiful name. And she said, yeah, it's actually an ancient Sanskrit name. It means beautiful, prosperous, full of life. I said, that's great. And then she said, what does your name mean, Jason? I said, no idea. So we Googled it, and it turns out Jason is an ancient Hebrew name, and it means bald Jew. Isn't that crazy? How do they know? I'm having a good New Year. I'm been trying to go on dates. I'm on a dating app called Hinge, and I've noticed this about Hinge. I've noticed a lot of women on Hinge, they say they're looking for a partner in crime, you know? A lot of women are looking for a partner in crime, but so few of them are willing to commit insurance fraud. You know? I just want to find a woman who can light a fire in my heart and also at my failing rental property in Woburn. I'm losing a lot of money in Woburn is the issue. It's been going, I don't know, I feel like it'd be easier, dating might be easier if I was like somebody's type, you know? Like I've heard in the gay community, if you're like a big guy with a beard, then you're a bear, you know? And that's a type, and it's pretty cool, right? Who wouldn't want to be a bear, you know, very masculine, you know? But if I was a type, though, I don't think I'd be a bear. I think if anything, I'd probably be a ferret. Your laughter does hurt a little bit. No, I'd be a ferret because I have a very long torso. I'm extremely hairy, and it is deeply unsettling when I escape from my cage and crawl into your bed. So look out for that. Reminding all the millions at home, these are jokes. It's fine. I'm not sure if I want to have kids or not. I'm kind of on the fence. Anyone here have kids? Yeah, kids. Would you recommend?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's that? Eat your Wheaties? Is that how you have kids? All right. I'm on the fence on kids. That wasn't a super strong recommendation. So I've actually started freezing my sperm. I want to keep it at peak freshness. So I've started freezing my sperm. My mom is not a huge fan of the whole idea. She keeps complaining that I'm using up all the ice cube trays. Come on. It's my freezer too, Mom. Come on. There's meatloaf. There's it's fine. There's plenty of room. We'll talk a little politics, unfortunately. It's been a rough few months. I'm still kind of shocked that Joe Biden dropped out of the race, you know, because like a week before he dropped out, George Stephanopoulos asked him, they said, Mr. President, is there any condition where you would leave the race? And he said, nah, the only way I'm leaving this race is if the Lord Almighty told me to leave. The only way I'm going to leave is if the Lord Almighty told me to leave. But then he dropped out, right? Which implies that one of two things happened, right? Either there was, in fact, divine intervention, or Barack Obama did like a prank phone call, right? Joe Biden picks up the phone. Hey, Joe, it's Jesus, and I'm here with I'm here with Mary. And look, Joe, you got to drop out of the race, or else I'm going to do another Noah's Ark. I'm going to flood the world. I'm going to make you get two giraffes, put them on a boat. You're 82 years old. How did you get two of every animal? It's not going to happen, Joe. Do the right thing. Drop out. That's my theory as to what happened. I'm not a political insider. You know, I don't know for sure. I am. Do you guys like impressions? Yeah. Well, I'm doing them either way. So you have no choice. But I wanted to make it seem like you did. So I do something called combined impressions, where I'll take two American presidents, I'll combine them into one character. All right. So this is a character called John F. Clinton. All right. This is JFK mixed with Bill Clinton. John F. Clinton. All right. We go to the moon not because it's easy, but because it's hard. Come on now, get it? The moon. And I was like, all right now, hey. Yeah, combining our two horniest presidents, very dangerous, very, very dangerous, but someone had to do it. All right, I'll do one more for you. I'll do a character called Ronald Trump. All right, this is Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump. I wouldn't vote for the guy, but the speeches would objectively be incredible. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall, and then we're going to take the bricks to our southern border, and we're going to build the wall, folks. We're going to build a great, big, beautiful wall, and Germany is going to pay for it. Believe me, East Germany and West Germany, they're going to split the bill. They split the country, they're going to split the bill. Seems fair to me. Now, a lot of people are talking, they tried to kill me, folks. They tried to murder me because I was telling the truth. I was telling the truth about freezing your sperm. You can do it at home, folks. You don't have to go to a sperm bank. Big Sperm tried to kill me, folks. Big Sperm tried to kill me. All right, Bob, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody, Jason Fishman. Hi, neighbor. Welcome to Mr. Roberts' Comedy Neighborhood. Can you say that? Sure. I knew you could. An important part of having comedy life is having supportive people in your corner. So let's talk about that now. It's important to have 6 different kinds of people in your network. Can you say network? Sure. I knew you could. I can't see when I have these on. I got to take them off. Put them in my pocket. 6 types of people. 3 have to do with your comedy. And 3 are all about your personal life, your friends, your family, like that. So the first one is people that give you new information, expertise. Can you say that? Expertise? Sure. I knew you could. Expertise is just a big fancy word for people that know what they're talking about. And when we're talking about comedy, these are people that are experts in the field of comedy. Could be if you took a class, your comedy teacher, he'd be an expert or she'd be an expert. Or maybe people doing comedy for years. They could be experts too. So it's very important in your support network. You have people in the first category, which is expertise. Okay, let's look at number 2. Number 2 are people that are powerful. People that have power to open doors and make opportunities come to you. Can you say that? Powerful? Sure. I know you could. Number 2. When we talk about people that are powerful, they've got power, but they only use it for good. Only powerful people that are going to help you, not hurt you in your career. So these could be people that maybe they own a show venue and they're looking for comics. And they say, come on in, love for you to do a show. That will be somebody's powerful. Now, I couldn't do that because I'm Mr. Roberts. But somebody that's in that position, that's the kind of person you want. Category number 2. Could be an agent. If you've got an agent, somebody who makes appointments and gets you booked different places, having agents and people in that category can also help your career. Because without them, it's going to be hard to push open those doors all by yourself. Just pushing on that door and pushing, it can feel like a real uphill battle. But if you've got powerful people, they can push the door and you just walk right in. Okay. Number 3 are people that are going to challenge your decisions. You might have an idea that you think is good, and somebody in this category is going to say, that's not a good idea. Matt, that might ruin your career. You don't want to ruin your career, do you? No. You work so hard to get where you are. You want people that are going to challenge your decisions so you don't make a fool out of yourself. Number 3, people that will challenge you. I had to look at my paper because I couldn't remember if challenge had 1 L or 2. But I got some help, Mr. Paper. So those are all 3 categories that are in your professional life. Those are people that are in the comedy field. They're either experts or they're powerful or they know about career development and they're going to challenge you so you don't make a big mistake. The next 3 are in your personal life because you don't spend all your time on stage. At least I hope you don't. Hope you got a personal life. You got friends and family and maybe a little dog or a cat that you go and you see to make you feel better when you have a bad set, when you, what they call bomb. So the first one in your personal life are going to be people that are supportive. You can be your unguarded self. You can let them know exactly how you're feeling. You don't have to worry that it's going to mess up your career because there are people who can keep a confidence. Okay, so these are going to be, you can be yourself with. I wrote 2 words. I wrote honest and transparent. And transparent just means you're like a window. People can see in and see out. You need people where you can be your unguarded self and they can see who the real you is. That's what category 4 is all about. And these are people, again, in your personal life. Next one are people that give you a sense of purpose. You might be thinking, hey, why am I doing all this comedy? Why am I traveling all over the country? Why am I staying up late and messing up my next day and I'm all cranky? Well, maybe there's a purpose to your comedy. Maybe you got a message you want to get out, something you're really fired up about. These are people who help you see purpose in your life. So number 4 is purpose. Oh, number 5, purpose. I made a mistake. Number 6 is another one. This is very important. Some people you might have heard, they work, and they never take a break. You know, people don't take a vacation. They don't even know when the weekend's here. They're just working all the time, 40 hours a week, 80 hours a week. These are people who are going to help you to stop working. It's called work-life balance. People are going to help you to go to the gym and work out. Maybe go to the store, buy some good food. Have food in the house so you're not eating junk food all the time. I like junk food, but I need some help with that. That's another story. So number 6 is going to be work-life balance people. So, in conclusion, if you've got people in all 6 of these areas, you're going to have a support team that's well-staffed and well-equipped. If you think about it, like on a football team, you don't have all big guys that are on the line. You don't have them running the ball. You don't have little fast, little skinny kids up front because they can't really block. You got to have everybody in all the positions and all the positions filled with the best people you can find. And when you have people in all 6 of these areas, you're going to find that your journey is going to be that much smoother. Thank you for visiting Mr. Roberts' Comedy Neighborhood. Bye. We're here with Jason Fishman. Jason, thank you so much for coming out and performing today. I really appreciate that.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
So I really love the idea of the 2 presidents, how you combine them together.
Sure, yeah.
How did you get the idea for impressions or the presidents?
I mean, I've been doing impressions for as long as I can remember. Apparently, when I was really little, I used to do George H.W. Bush, No New Taxes. Like, I have no memory of this, but my parents said I used to do it. The combined, I think I was probably just walking around saying the John F. Clinton, you know, that in my head, and then I'm just like, oh, what if? Yeah. And then that was kind of, once I got that format, I realized I could just combine people together. Yeah.
My first public performance was in 5th grade.
Okay.
It was the time of Watergate, and I did a Richard Nixon impression.
You did Nixon? Yeah.
And my teacher liked it. She brought a couple teachers in from the next room.
Yeah.
Had me come up to the front of the class.
The whole jowl?
Yeah, the jowl.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it's the body action as well. Yeah. So with your stand-up comedy, how did you get started?
I took a class at Improv Boston, which sadly no longer exists, but I took that in 2019, and then did like a few open mics, and then the pandemic happened, which screwed things up a bit, but then after I did some stuff on Zoom, and then slowly got back into it.
Yeah.
And it's been something I wanted to do for a long time, so I'm happy I finally did it.
So you live in Jamaica Plain? Do you do mics in Jamaica Plain, or where do you?
Love the Jeannie Johnston open mic. Love the Midway Cafe. These are, some of the worst bars in America. No, they're great. They're great. They're wonderful. I love going out to those.
Yeah. I started at the Model Cafe, and they call that the best dive bar in Boston.
That is a good one. A good $5 pizza on Wednesdays. Pretty good.
Yeah. And then in terms of travel, have you been to other states or other places?
Not
like
really.
Other parts of Mass?
I mean, for comedy?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I've left Massachusetts in my life, not to brag. But no, it's comedy, mostly just New England. I've been up to Maine, done Rhode Island. New Hampshire, but looking to grow, looking to expand, looking to travel.
Yeah. I know one of the things for a lot of comics is to go to comedy festivals. Have you done the festival thing?
I have been rejected from every festival I've applied to, but maybe this will be the year.
Yeah. I went to the Portland Comedy Festival just for the open mic. There was no criteria. So I've been to festivals.
There you go.
So one of the things with festivals many times is to submit a tape.
Yes.
Right? And your tapes, do you do them yourself, or how do you make them? And can you tell us a little story about what that's like for a comic?
Sure. I mean, again, this is you're looking at a guy who's been rejected from it. So let me give you advice, Bob. From what I know, is you want to. I mean, it's 5 to 7 minutes usually, and sometimes they only say they're going to watch 5. So so ideally, if you can get a set that's just 5 minutes, perfect. If not, you can cut a 10-minute tape into 5. As long as you can't edit it. You can't start at the beginning. But it has to be 5 continuous minutes. Yeah. But it can be any part of your act. So if you're doing a 15-minute set, you really like the chunk in the middle, you really like the end. I think it's ideal if you can do one coherent 5-minute bit, because usually you start and end in a specific way. But if your best stuff is at the end, don't send in the first 5. You know, if you're don't send in a 15-minute tape if your best stuff is on the top 5.
So be strategic about what you send.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then with the actual production of the tape, do you do any special miking or thing? I know that one of the key things, they've got to be able to hear the jokes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the more professional the tape looks, the better chances you'll have of it doing something for you, getting you into the festival. I mean, I'm lucky in that the guy I run a show with, Peter Lou, he has a 4K camera, like a really nice camera. So I think just getting in the habit of taping every show you can, you know? I mean, so if you have a show, obviously tape every set. You never know, because you never know what's going to be a good set and what's going to be not such a good set. So just the more options you have, the better. So and so if you have a friend who has a camera, bug them and they'll help you. Or I mean, even if you can get close enough, just get a nice tripod. If budget, you know, nice tripod with your cell phone will do fine. Audio is usually fine just from the mic.
Yeah. Thank you for that. One of the things too, a lot of times comics, after they do the in front of the mic, they'll often move into promoting or developing a show.
Sure.
That's actually something you've done with Popcorn Comedy.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about how that started and who you're involved with, et cetera?
Yeah. So Popcorn Comedy is a monthly show. Sometimes it's locally here in Arlington. Sometimes it's in Somerville. And sort of the gimmick is it's at a movie theater, right? So you can. It's always in a movie theater. You can get a big bucket of popcorn and beer and wine, you know, and candy and snacks. So it's the movie theater experience, but you're watching live stand-up comedy in a theater, which is kind of the cool thing. So we'll do it at the Capitol sometimes, and that's a big 120-seat theater. Or more frequently, we're in the Somerville Theater in Davis Square, where it's like a 30-seat theater in the basement. And both are great spaces. Just kind of depends on the experience you're looking for, but and the availability of each space. But it's been really fun running it. I started it with Peter Lou, who I'm sure you know, another great local comic, and. We just try to showcase sort of our favorite people in the scene and try to get some big headliners, and we've been having a great time. Yeah.
And then how long is this show, and like typically how many people do you have roughly?
Sure. I mean, in Somerville, we usually sell it out, so about 30, 34 people in the audience, and maybe like 5 other me and Peter always perform, and then maybe 5 other comics, including the headliner. And then Arlington, you know, it's a 120-seat theater. We've gotten to like 60 or 70. So
nice.
Yeah.
And I know that you've got an Instagram presence for Popcorn Comedy. That's Popcorn Comedy Boston.
That's right, at Popcorn Comedy Boston.
And if they want to get in touch with you personally, they can go to Popcorn Comedy Boston. They can get to you.
Yeah, they'll see Peter and myself.
You and Peter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, great. So glad to have you on here. Everybody, Jason Fishman. Thanks, Jason. Yeah. So our next show, we're going to have another great lineup. We'll have a comedian. We'll have a joking around in the other segments. And also, just want to let you know, we would love to hear from you. If you want to contact the show, use our email account, which is comedygoldsecrets@gmail.com. That's comedygoldsecrets@gmail.com. I'm Robert Moran saying thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.